I want you to imagine that there's a major kingdom in the 7th century BC. It's called the Lydian kingdom. And they come down and destroy a very important harbor city, ancient Smyrna, which we will call today Izmir. And for a while, a once renowned harbor city is dead. But because of its reputation and its beauty, Alexander made it live again. So they've been through death, they've been renewed into life. They are a crown, and Jesus writes about both. I'm the one who is dead and is alive again. Just so you know, I know. And he talks about a crown of life for them. It is, in fact, a fantastic port. If you leave this port and go west, you hit Europe. So this is the edge of Asia, and when you go west on a straight line, you'll come over to Piraeus and Athens. So it gives you a good kind of opening to the west. So west versus east, we think of today more Istanbul, but in antiquity, they would have thought more Smyrna. So this would have had that cosmopolitan feel. But it also had some pretty significant problems. Smyrna was a church facing fear. They are facing their fear because trouble is coming upon them. He says 3 things are coming to a city near you. 3 tribulum, tribulations. Teddy Roosevelt said, to the man who quits halfway, he sees only the ordeal and not the victory. I'm not a person who's willing to take on knowledgeably a lot of suffering unless I think it's really going to be worth it. I want you to go past the suffering, past the poverty, past the slander, past the imprisonment, past the death, and all the way into the throne room of the risen Christ. I want you to understand that if you fixate on the part that's bad for the church, it's easy for you to think, we've lost, we've lost, we've lost. But I read the end of the book, Jesus wins. And there's an enormous victory of a magnificent, unparalleled, beautiful Jesus who will be elevated. And the Lamb who is worthy to be worshipped will be worshipped in eternity. We're not prepared to tell people about the trouble to come unless they see Jesus, know that he's effective in working through us in spite of us, and unless they see heaven is already under operation. Praise is already happening. And the judgments of God that fall at the end of the book, they come from the throne room of heaven. God himself is in charge. I need to know about Jesus. I need to know that he's powerful over his people in spite of us to get the job done. And I need to know that heaven is in full operation. And then I'm ready to start talking about the future. I almost believe that we have to do that daily in our own lives. Before you grab the news, check heaven, because it'll change the way you look at the news. The question for me is not what's happening in Ukraine and what the Russians are doing. The question for me is, Lord, these things are happening and they're beyond my control. What is it I'm supposed to do about this? How can I pray? How can I be engaged? What should I do?